Hey everyone. As an Eagles fan, it's been a rough week. I'd like to discuss something regarding what many of you may have been asking questions about, and let's say a coordinator issue. As many of you may know, or if it's news to you, Jalen Hurts has had 10 offensive play callers in his last 9 seasons. What's the reason behind all the constant flux or inconsistencies? Why can't we hold a coordinator for more than 2 years tops? What's the issues with the Eagles offense now? I may just glance over that, but do the Eagles have a coordinator issue? Before we get into it though, I'd like to ask you to drop a like on the video if you're enjoying it, and subscribe if you're really enjoying the content and want to see more of us. Hey, even if you like hearing my voice before bed, subscribe. But before we get into it, cue the intro.
What's coming? It's picked up. Hurts going deep. Has him and he uses a fingertip catch for a touchdown. Well, plenty of time, and the pass is caught by Smith. End zone. Caught. Touchdown, Devontae Smith. For Hurts on that drive.
It seems so long ago, 2017, when the Eagles won our first Super Bowl. And I'm sure most of you remember Frank Wright was the offensive coordinator at the time. Well, the previous 2 seasons, 2016 and 17. But then we go on to 2018 and 19, and we moved on from Frank Wright. Our offensive coordinator at the time was Mike Groh. And while I didn't particularly remember our offense or much of it at the time, I do know after he left us, he was picked up by Frank Wright in Indianapolis as their wide receivers coach. So I'd say that was a demotion. Wouldn't say that was a successful tenure. Next, however, we move on to arguably the best offensive coordinator in Eagles history. At least up to this point. While I know that may be controversial to some, but the man, Shane Steichen, has a 23-11 record with the Eagles, which is the best in history up to this point. We also made the playoffs 2 times, and we made the Super Bowl. Well, we didn't end up winning, but we did lose to the Chiefs 35-38. But I would highly consider that overall a success. The offense was highly rated, and things seemed to work out until he left, so overall another win. Wow. If you're an Eagles fan, you know where this is going. While Shane Steichen may have left us with a great taste in our mouth and wanting more, thinking our offense was going to thrive with the weapons we had there, we decided to promote a guy in-house named Brian Johnson. To put it simply, our offense was garbage, trash, the sort. Brett Coleman actually does a great video on this. I think the title of the video is "The Eagles Run a High School Offense." Yeah. So that should tell you enough of how bad our offense was this year. So again, another failure at coordinator after a great successor coordinator, though. We did, however, that year end up starting off 10-1, but we had one of the greatest in-season collapses ever. Although we beat teams like the Chiefs and Bills, we had an absolute thrashing of a time against the 49ers. And we ended up getting slaughtered in the playoffs by the Buccaneers that year. So it was, Jesus, oh my goodness. I'm sure no Eagles fan wants to relive those moments. But next we have the former Cowboys and Chargers offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. Because after the debacle that Brian Johnson brought us, it couldn't get worse, right? And my God, it was the complete opposite. While we did start off 2-2, the offense clicked. Saquon ran for over 2,000 yards and had the most rushing yards in a single season, including the playoffs history. And he is the most successful offensive coordinator up to this point now, with a 14-3 record and a Super Bowl win. Would you disagree with it? Although it is a short sample size. But he ended up going on and, as you know now, is the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. So it's a success. And now currently we move on to another in-house hire by the name of Kevin Patullo. And while the jury's still out on him, mostly everyone's saying he's garbage, but he still has time to fix it. But it's just not good. Our offense is very predictable. There's a video of Emmanuel Acho talking about it, how just there's no fooling anyone with our formations. But like I said, it just seems like we lack the creativity, lack route combination, or even sequencing that opens up the proper routes that get anyone open, scheming anyone open. Like I said, Kevin still has time to learn and adjust. It's, as of this video, he has 10 days before our Vikings game. Hopefully he actually does take the time and see what's working and what's not, and maybe mix it up a little. Call me a casual.
You calling me a liar? I ain't calling you a truther.
But the Eagles' issues with coordinators isn't an issue at all. As you see, we can be very successful when we go outside of the organization and gather or get someone with experience actually play calling, sequencing, knowing how to scheme guys open, not just guys who are coordinating one asset of the game or was a wide receivers coach. When we get the guys who actually have the experience and know what they're doing, we've been practically in the Super Bowl each time. But hey, I could be wrong. It could be just wishful thinking. It could be just maybe the Jalen Hurts is the issue. I mean, you tell me. There are many different things you could blame it. The injuries on the O-line, the lack of pass rush, so the offense isn't getting the ball where you want it. The special teams actually has been horrible too. There are many reasons. And if you're an Eagles fan, tell me in the comments what you think the reason could be.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
Hope you enjoy the content. Hug your loved ones. See you next time. It's Sports by GG, signing out.